Good afternoon and thank you for joining us. The major stock market averages pulled back slightly on Friday, the last trading day of August, after 3 consecutive days of gains. The day before, both the Dow and the S&P 500 hit record highs. The S&P had its 4th winning month in a row. As we all know, stock prices follow earnings, and about 98% of the companies in the S&P have reported earnings. 81% of those companies have beat Wall Street earnings expectations. The market continues to focus on interest rates, tariffs, and AI investments. The Federal Reserve met in Jackson Hole, Wyoming last month. At the conclusion, Fed Chair Jerome Powell signaled the U.S. Central Bank is carefully considering an interest rate cut in September. Mr. Powell pointed to a shifting balance of risk which may warrant adjusting our policy stance. He was referring to surprisingly weak figures for employment. Unfortunately, lowering interest rates to help employment could lead to higher inflation. The overriding risk for Fed policymakers is inflation goes up, but the economy slows down and the job market tightens. That is what we call stagflation. The European Union is the largest source of U.S. imports, and the U.S. and EU have settled on a trade deal. The EU president called the deal strong, if not perfect. The EU agreed to accept a 15% tariff on most of its exports to the U.S. And tariffs on American exports to the EU should drop below the current average of 1% once the deal goes into effect. NVIDIA's latest earnings report was released after the market closed last Wednesday. Interest in the results was intense because the company is a bellwether for AI investments. The company beat estimates on the top revenues and bottom earnings per share lines. NVIDIA's revenues for the quarter were $54 billion, and that number did not assume any H20 shipments to China. Historically, China is 15% of NVIDIA's revenues. Even without China, revenues rose 56% in the quarter from $30 billion a year ago. Year-over-year revenue has now exceeded 50% for 9 straight quarters, dating back to mid-2023 when the AI boom started. NVIDIA's strength is its data center business, which the company predicts will be a $4 trillion market by 2030. Finally, we should mention the U.S. economy expanded at a 3.3% annualized rate in the second quarter, and initial jobless claims decreased by 5,000 to 229,000 in the week ending August 23rd. But September can be a difficult month. In the past 75 years, the S&P 500 has, on average, declined in September, making it the worst performing month for stocks. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you next month.